evil has never looked so good. For decades, Hollywood's most dangerous women have seduced audiences while destroying everything in their path. These aren't just villains, they're icons who weaponize their beauty, intelligence, and raw sexuality to create some of cinema's most unforgettable characters. 10 women redefined what it meant to be bad on screen. 10 performances that made audiences question everything they thought they knew about heroes and villains. From deadly assassins to manipulative masterminds, these are the female villains who proved that sometimes the bad girls are infinitely more interesting than the good ones.
I could do this all day.
The greatest female villains in cinema history share one crucial trait. They make evil look effortless. These aren't women who stumbled into darkness. They embraced it, controlled it, and used it to bend the world to their will. Each performance on this list represents a perfect storm of beauty, talent, and the kind of magnetic screen presence that makes audiences root for the wrong side. Understanding what makes these villains so compelling reveals something fundamental about human nature. We're drawn to characters who break rules, who refuse to be victims, and who take what they want without apology. These 10 women didn't just play villains, they became legends. Number 10. Rebecca Romijn as Mystique in X-Men series. Starting our countdown is Rebecca Romijn's Mystique, the shape-shifting mutant who proved that the most dangerous weapon isn't a gun or a blade. It's the ability to become anyone you trust. Romijn's portrayal combined physical perfection with predatory intelligence, creating a villain who was both beautiful and terrifying. What made Mystique so compelling wasn't just Romijn's stunning blue-scaled appearance, but her complete commitment to the character's alien sexuality. She moved like a predator, spoke like a seductress, and fought like a dancer, creating a villain who was impossible to look away from. The 8-hour makeup process required to transform Romijn into Mystique became legendary in Hollywood, but it was her ability to convey character through pure physicality that made the performance iconic. Without extensive dialogue, she created a villain who communicated volumes through movement and expression. Romijn's Mystique represented a new kind of female villain, one who used her sexuality not as weakness but as ultimate power. She could become anyone, seduce anyone, and destroy anyone, making her the perfect embodiment of every man's fantasy and nightmare combined. Number 9. Glenn Close as Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction. Glenn Close's Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction created the template for the modern psychotic woman, a character so terrifying that she changed how audiences viewed female sexuality forever. Close transformed what could have been a simple stalker into a complex study of obsession, rejection, and the thin line between love and hate. What made Alex Forrest so disturbing wasn't her violence, it was her intelligence. Close played her as a successful, attractive woman who seemed perfectly normal until rejection triggered something primal and unstoppable. The famous bunny boiling scene became cultural shorthand for female psychosis, but Close's performance was far more nuanced than the memes suggest. Close spent months researching borderline personality disorder and obsessive behavior, creating a character who felt authentically unhinged rather than cartoonishly evil. Her Alex wasn't a monster. She was a woman whose emotional needs had twisted into something destructive and dangerous. The performance launched 1,000 imitators but was never truly matched. Close found the perfect balance between vulnerability and menace, creating a villain who was simultaneously sympathetic and absolutely terrifying. Number 8. Rosamund Pike as Amy Dunne in Gone Girl. Rosamund Pike's Amy Dunne represents the evolution of the female villain into something far more sophisticated and terrifying than previous generations could imagine. Pike created a character who weaponized society's expectations of women, using her apparent perfection as the ultimate disguise for calculated evil. What made Amy Dunne so chilling was her complete understanding of how the world sees women. She manipulated media narratives, exploited gender stereotypes, and used her beauty and intelligence to destroy her husband's life with surgical precision. Pike's performance required her to play multiple versions of the same character: the perfect wife, the victim, and finally, the revealed sociopath. Each transformation was seamless, showing an actress in complete control of her craft and her character's psychology. The diary scenes where Amy reveals her true thoughts became masterclasses in controlled malevolence. Pike delivered lines about marriage and manipulation with such casual cruelty that audiences felt complicit in her schemes, understanding her logic even while being horrified by her methods. Amy Dunne proved that the most dangerous villains aren't the ones who scream and threaten. They're the ones who smile while they destroy you. Number 7. Jennifer Jason. Leigh, as Daisy Domergue in The Hateful Eight. Jennifer Jason Leigh's Daisy Domergue in The Hateful Eight represents Tarantino's most complex female villain, a character who combines frontier toughness with manipulative intelligence. Leigh created a woman who was simultaneously victim and predator, using her apparent helplessness to mask deadly cunning. What made Daisy so compelling was Leigh's refusal to make her sympathetic. Despite being chained, beaten, and abused throughout the film, Daisy never becomes a victim in the audience's mind. Instead, she remains a coiled snake, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Leigh's performance balanced dark humor with genuine menace, creating a character who could make audiences laugh one moment and recoil in horror the next. Her Daisy was unpredictable in the best possible way, keeping viewers constantly off balance. The film's cabin setting allowed Leigh to showcase Daisy's psychological manipulation skills. Surrounded by dangerous men, she used their assumptions about women against them, proving that intelligence and patience could be more deadly than any weapon. Leigh earned an Oscar nomination for the role, recognition of her ability to create a fully realized character from what could have been a simple plot device. Number 6. Famke Janssen, as Xenia Onatopp in GoldenEye. Famke Janssen's Xenia Onatopp created one of Bond cinema's most memorable villains by literalizing the connection between sex and death. Her character killed men during intimate moments, making her the ultimate femme fatale in a franchise built on dangerous women. What made Xenia so effective wasn't just the novelty of her killing method, but Janssen's complete commitment to the character's twisted psychology. She played Xenia as someone who genuinely enjoyed violence, who found sexual pleasure in destruction and death. Janssen's physical preparation for the role was extensive, training in hand-to-hand combat and developing the specific physicality of someone who uses their body as a weapon. The result was a villain who felt genuinely dangerous rather than just provocative. The sauna fight sequence with Pierce Brosnan showcased Janssen's ability to make Xenia both seductive and terrifying. She moved like a predator, fought like a dancer, and died like a warrior, creating one of the franchise's most memorable confrontations. Xenia Onatopp proved that Bond villains could be more than just obstacles. They could be forces of nature that challenge the hero on every level. Number 5. Sharon Stone, as Catherine Tramell in Basic Instinct. Sharon Stone's Catherine Tramell didn't just break boundaries, she obliterated them, creating a character so sexually powerful and morally ambiguous that she redefined what female villains could be. Stone's performance combined intelligence, sexuality, and danger in ways that had never been seen before. What made Catherine so compelling was the fundamental question at the heart of the film: was she actually guilty? Stone played every scene with perfect ambiguity, creating a character who could be either an innocent writer or a brilliant killer, depending on how you interpreted her actions. The famous interrogation scene became cultural legend not just for its shocking moment, but for Stone's complete control of the room. She turned what should have been a position of weakness into ultimate power, using the male gaze against itself. Stone's preparation for the role included extensive research into criminal psychology and manipulation techniques. She created a character who understood exactly how to use her sexuality as both weapon and shield, making her untouchable even when surrounded by enemies. Catherine Tramell represented a new kind of female villain, one who was never a victim, never apologetic, and never defeated. She played by her own rules and won every game she entered. Number 4. Cate Blanchett, as Hela in Thor: Ragnarok. Cate Blanchett's Hela brought Shakespearean gravitas to the Marvel Universe, creating a villain who was both terrifyingly powerful and undeniably charismatic. Blanchett transformed what could have been a generic comic book baddie into a complex study of power, family, and the corruption of absolute authority. What made Hela so effective was Blanchett's decision to play her as someone who genuinely believed in her own righteousness. She wasn't evil for evil's sake. She was a displaced ruler, reclaiming what she saw as her birthright, making her motivations understandable even when her methods were horrific. Blanchett's physical transformation for the role was remarkable, combining regal bearing with predatory grace. She moved like someone born to rule, spoke like someone accustomed to being obeyed, and fought like someone who had never known defeat. The costume design, particularly Hela's iconic headdress, became instantly recognizable, but it was Blanchett's performance that made the character memorable. She brought depth and complexity to a role that could have been one-dimensional. Hela's destruction of Mjolnir in the film's opening sequence established her as a threat unlike any the MCU had seen before, and Blanchett's delivery of the moment made it feel both shocking and inevitable. Number 3. Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman in Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman remains the definitive portrayal of the character, a performance so iconic that every subsequent version has been measured against it. Pfeiffer created a villain who was simultaneously victim and predator, using her transformation from meek secretary to leather-clad anti-hero to explore themes of female empowerment and revenge. What made Pfeiffer's Catwoman so compelling was the clear character arc from Selina Kyle's death to her rebirth as something more powerful and dangerous. The transformation wasn't just physical, it was psychological, showing a woman who had been pushed too far finally pushing back. Pfeiffer's physical preparation for the role was legendary, including months of whip training that allowed her to perform the famous mannequin decapitation scene in a single take. Her commitment to the character's physicality made every movement feel authentic and dangerous. The relationship between Catwoman and Batman crackled with sexual tension and moral ambiguity. Pfeiffer played their scenes as a dance between equals, two damaged people who understood each other in ways no one else could. The stitched-together leather costume became iconic, but it was Pfeiffer's performance that made Catwoman a cultural phenomenon. She created a character who was both feminist icon and male fantasy, a contradiction that somehow worked perfectly. Number 2. Charlize Theron as Aileen Wuornos in Monster. Charlize Theron's transformation into serial killer. Aileen Wuornos represents one of cinema's most complete character immersions. Theron didn't just play a villain, she became one, creating a performance so authentic and disturbing that it redefined what was possible in biographical filmmaking. What made Theron's performance so powerful was her refusal to make Aileen sympathetic or to excuse her crimes. Instead, she showed how circumstances, mental illness, and societal failure could create a monster, while never suggesting that those factors justified murder. Theron's physical transformation was remarkable, gaining weight, wearing prosthetic teeth, and completely altering her posture and movement. But the psychological transformation was even more impressive as she found the humanity in someone who had committed inhuman acts. The performance required Theron to portray both victim and predator, often within the same scene. She showed how Aileen's traumatic past had shaped her into someone capable of extreme violence, while never using that past as an excuse. Theron's Oscar win was well-deserved recognition of a performance that pushed the boundaries of what audiences could accept from a leading actress. She proved that beauty could be transformed into something terrifying without losing its essential power. Number 1. Angelina Jolie as Lisa Rowe in Girl Interrupted. At number 1 is Angelina Jolie's Lisa Rowe, a performance so magnetic and dangerous that it launched one of Hollywood's biggest careers while creating cinema's most seductive sociopath. Jolie didn't just play a mental patient, she created a force of nature who dominated every scene through pure charisma and unpredictable energy. What made Lisa so compelling was Jolie's understanding that the character's power came from her complete freedom from social constraints. Lisa said what everyone else was thinking, did what everyone else wanted to do, and lived without the fear that paralyzed those around her. Jolie's preparation for the role included extensive research into antisocial personality disorder and time spent with actual patients. She created a character who felt authentically unhinged while remaining utterly compelling to watch. The dynamic between Lisa and Winona Ryder's Susanna drove the entire film, with Jolie's explosive energy providing perfect contrast to Ryder's introspective confusion. Lisa became the dark mirror of what Susanna could become if she stopped fighting her own demons. Jolie's Oscar win for the role was recognition of a star-making performance that redefined what female villains could be. Lisa Rowe wasn't just evil. She was liberated, and that liberation made her both terrifying and irresistible. The performance established Jolie as Hollywood's go-to actress for complex, dangerous women, a reputation that would define her career for decades to come. These 10 women proved that the most dangerous villains aren't the ones who rely on weapons or superpowers. They're the ones who weaponize intelligence, sexuality, and charisma to bend the world to their will. From Mystique's shape-shifting seduction to Lisa Rowe's sociopathic charm, each performance redefined what it meant to be bad on screen. But perhaps most importantly, these villains showed that audiences crave complexity in their antagonists. The days of simple, one-dimensional bad guys are over. Modern audiences want villains who challenge heroes intellectually, emotionally, and morally. These 10 women didn't just play villains, they created icons that continue to influence how we see power, sexuality, and the thin line between good and evil. Their legacy lives on in every complex female antagonist who graces our screens, proving that sometimes the bad girls really are more interesting than the good ones. We are committed to releasing 2 videos a week. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more film lore.